part is everyone will realize they can't change the system. Everybody say, I can't change the system. I can't change the system. It says when two armies are at war and one of the armies wants to give up because they realize that they are defeated, they wave the white flag. Or when a boxer is taking a beating in the ring and the corner wants to stop the fight, they throw in the white towel. In this case, meaning your life, you are the one with the white flag or towel in your hand, and you and only you have the power to wave it or throw it in. And that's called surrender. And surrendering is the key to victory. Nobody will be able to make you surrender to that bad lifestyle but you. But you got to understand, when I said that you can't change the system, let me explain to you what I mean. On a computer, if you don't have to be too good at a computer, but if you ordering something on a computer with a credit card, debit card or something, and you punch in the information, you place your order. After you close the computer out, if you come back to the computer, start punching in the number of the credit card again. Anybody know what this does? Pops up. Come on. It will pop up. That's called autofill. Mm-hmm. And what the computer is trying to do is trying to predict that you're going to put the same information in the computer as before. Mm-hmm. Now, I said all that to say this. That monster called addiction is trying to predict you're going to do the same thing that you did before. But you won't be able to change that monster system. The monster, I call, is waiting for you to come do the exact same thing. Just like autofill. It's trying to predict you. But the only way to change the autofill is you have to manually change it. Oh, man. That means that you have to do something different.
Amen.
You have to do something different. You won't be able to change the system. The system is already in place. Autofill on a computer, when it tries to predict your number, that's what it was designed to do. But we keep trying to change the monster. The addiction will always be that. You got to change you. Change it. You won't be able to change. It never deviates from its purpose. It always aims to kill you. Anytime you escape from it, God, I'm getting again. Because it wants to kill you. Kill you as soon as you dead, move to the next one. Put you in a coma, mess you up, heart attack, all that. Move. Get out of here. I got you. I'm going to get your boy. It always runs. That system never changes. The only person that changes is you. The word surrender means to give up, abandon, relinquish, or just let go. Who or what has you not surrendered? Come on.
My thought process.
Good. What's your name?
Johnny.
Thank you, brother. Good. My thought process. Who up? Who or what has you not surrendered? It's a proven fact that we have not surrendered, because I know this is not your first time. I don't believe. Is this your first time in a treatment center? Who's that first time? The beauty about you never been locked up or anything.
Well, I've been locked up.
Nope, that's just not you. That's it. It's all in the same family. You ever been on probation before? You ever been? This is all the same. I told you what it was. It's one system. It's called the monster. It's one system. And the only way to get out of it, I noticed this. I used to commit crime and do drugs all the time. But I noticed when I stopped doing drugs, you know what I stopped doing? Crime. Boy, I tell you, I'm so smart. I ain't coming back down. I told y'all already have what? Y'all have it. The only thing that y'all have to do is
don't pick up.
Come on. Y'all got it. This ain't rocket science. You know. Because the whole thing about this recovery, whatever you want to, because you can name it and call it whatever. I call it living. But the only thing that's different is applying what we already know. We know. If we put our hand in that fire,
Don't get burned.
You keep thinking, this time when I put my hand in, it's going to turn into ice. No, it's not going to happen. It's not going to turn into ice. No matter how many times you try. Everybody said, anyway. But back. Listen, it says, who or what has you not surrendered? It's like, to me, this is me. God is trying to take this life away from you, and you are fighting him to keep it. I remember I had visions. I worked with visions a lot. I had visions or dreams, whatever you want to call it. But I was holding on to my past in the vision. And on this side was the God of my understanding pulling me. And he's pulling me, and I'm holding on to this. And he's like, come on. So I'm like, where we going? Let's go. He said, in order for you to go, you have to let go. So he was pulling me, but I was in the tug of war. Like, man, I don't want to leave this because of the fear of succeeding. I don't know what you pulling me to first. Can we do what you want to do over here? Which will never work. You know, like get high on the weekend, save my check, get a check, flip it, get a package. That stuff don't work. This is all the stuff we be thinking. I'm going to just get high on the weekends. Work. Then after you go from the weekend, you say, I don't really like this job. I'm going to get this last check. I'm going to flip that. It never worked, man. We be having all these scams. They don't work.
Get higher than a rocket.
We just gotta go forward. Leave it alone. You in a tug of war with God, try to hold on to this. When you have something more, all you have to do, everybody say, let it go.
Let it go.
Come on, y'all. Next, let's go. Let's go, man. It says, this is a question for y'all. What's the hardest area for you to surrender? Wow. Somebody.
Our relationships with my family. That was the hardest.
That's it right there.
Your relationship with your family. Wow. Anybody else? Come on. I ain't going to just get me out of here. I'm not going to stop that. Control. Your faith?
My faith in the future.
To go forward.
Go forward, not know what's going to happen. Just to have that faith, just stay focused. I know it's going to work out. It's hard.
It's hard for you to say. Just basically like closing your eyes and walking off and things saying, I got you, but you like, still like, you sure?
I hear it.
But it's just, that's real. And it becomes a fear. Like,
A lot of times it be the same thing with me. It's just the fear of the unknown. I'm familiar with a lot of stuff, and some families got to step out. But you don't know.
Yeah.
You just got to step out.
Afraid of doing it by yourself.
huh?
Afraid of doing it by yourself without your family help when they hold you back.
Wow.
This gentleman right here in the flag.
Forgiveness?
Forgiveness is the hardest part for you to change. Anybody else? Come on, y'all listen. Some people, you might have the heart to say something that somebody else might be afraid to say or ask. You saying it will free them. So don't be, there's no wrong or right, you're not wrong. It's talking about you. Go ahead.
For me, basically, it's feeling that I can't do it or I'm not good enough or not worthy.
Yeah, this is real stuff. This is real. This is how the people you walk past every day, and we just have these old put on these smiles and everything is okay. You know what I mean? You can't do it. You're not going to make it like that. You need to say, you know what I mean? I remember I was in bondage when she was just talking about this to somebody on the phone with some stuff that I was holding or the enemy was making me not talk about, right? And mind you, I'm a man of faith. So I'm praying, God saying, talk to your wife about it. And I'm sitting there like, I think God misunderstood what listen, I said, he said, talk to her. And I'm like, did you hear what I said? I can't tell her about this. This is different. He said, talk to my wife. But the whole time, year after year, it's hurting me, and I'm not talking to her. That's why I'm telling you, share. But one day I get the heart that I need to talk to you. Yeah, I talked to her, told her to sit way over there, and I was way over here before I told her. Because she got issues. But I talked to her. I said, "Go sit over there. Let me talk to you about something. Make sure she can't hit me." But this is what happened. Year after year, I was in bondage about something. I tell her, she says, "Hey, why you crying? I already know." For years, I'm thinking I'm keeping a secret. She said, "I already know." And that's what our fears, or what's the hardest area for us to change? God already knows. I know you was going to struggle there. I'm asking you to come on. Take a chance. Try it. Come on. You can do it. The success you want to do, or what's going to happen, succeeding, y'all all can do it. It's the fear of that unknown. That thing's serious. Woo!
Let me tell you something about
that thing's
the man said not feeling worthy enough or good enough or something, and being afraid. You are worthy. You were created worthy. Let me tell you, it's scripture in the Bible. I love it. It's in Psalms 149. Fearfully and wonderfully
39.
created. Psalms 139. Fearfully and wonderfully created. I love that. That's me. I love that. I like being different than everybody else. Sometimes I see somebody do something I do, and I'm like, really cool. And he was like, "That's cool," but I'm like, "Nah, I gotta do something else different." Because I love it. I love it because I'm finally getting used to. It took me a long time to get used to being who I am, because I didn't know. Right. You know, girls that try to dress like everybody else. You see, everybody got the same hairstyle, same eyelashes, the same everything now. Right. You know. And everybody looked the part, but God didn't make you like that. But you are so worthy. You are so great. You are so wonderful that God, who can make anything, could not make another you. He made only one of you, because you was perfect the first time.
And He made you. So that's how worthy you are. He thought you were so worthy.
We go out here and do stuff to ourselves. We go ahead and try to change everything about us, or try to fit in, or we do things to ourselves to mess us up, so to speak. Change how we look, you know what I mean, or cause us to get in bad situations or get caught up in strongholds. But when He made you, He said, this is how they're going to look, this is how much hair they're going to have, this is how many teeth they're going to have. One on one leg longer than the other, because they're going to run into this girl, and this girl going to like a man like that. You know what I'm saying? You was perfect.
Worthy.
That He wasn't going to make two of you.
Yeah.
Your fingerprints, everything is only specific to you, because out of everybody in the world, two chairs, two TVs, but you, only one. So why would you think you're not worthy? Because if there was a problem with you, it would have made you over. It would have made two of you like, nah, I messed that one up, let me make this one. What you have to start believing, and you have to start knowing, is that God can take you, the you, that He didn't make another one of, and make it over brand new. Be the same thing, but brand new. Still you.
You are worthy. He proved that you're all worthy, because I didn't make another you. If he thought that you probably would mess up who He made you to be, right? He'd have had like another standby. So we keep this back here. Up, move him off the scene. Come on up. He looked just like what you call it. Yeah, no, that one's gone. I'm another model. What was that movie we was watching with Will Smith? Gemini Man. Y'all ever seen that movie?
No, that was live.
You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Gemini. But you all are worthy.
And don't put too much pressure on yourself about thinking too far in advance. You know, my husband was having a conversation just yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Nope. At the airport. We were sitting in the airport early this morning, and we were talking, and he was talking about something, and he was like, "Man, I didn't know God knew all of that back then. If I would have knew that then," I said, "You would have knew it then, you probably wouldn't have did it." Right. Because it's too great for you. Right. So try to think too far in advance, because it's so great it'll scare you.
I blew it.
It will scare you.
Yeah.
If you would have told me way back in 2005 when I met him, this is the most talking I do. I love to let him do it. I like to just sit and listen to him and root from the back. But if you would have told me that I would have been doing this with him, I probably would have backed away because I like doing my own thing and I like playing in the background. I like being in the background, setting it up and all to let you. But it was too much. I would have probably self-sabotaged. So don't. Give yourself today. Give yourself today.
You're worthy.
And when you wake up tomorrow, guess what tomorrow becomes? Today. Give yourself
It's always
that.
today.
Give yourself that.
Just for the day. What's the hardest area for you to change or surrender? Change, listen, everybody say change.
Change.
Must be structured.
Must be structured.
Say change.
Change.
Must be structured.
Must be
The
structured.
reason why I say that is because change must be structured because old habits are fed in our brain. We need to feed our brain new information. In order for the old patterns in our brain to come out, we have to feed our brains new information. You got to find new devotionals. You can find spiritual books, or you can find new coping skills, relapse prevention skills. Something you have to feed your brain. While you're here, when you're working and you have idle time, relax. Take time to relax, but always be feeding your brain. Why? Because when you feed your brain, you override the old patterns. Because old patterns are inside your brain. The only way to bring it out is if it's introduced to new information. So every day I'm constantly learning. I'm learning something, teaching myself, and it's pushing out all those old patterns. Do I still make mistakes and mess up? Yeah, you do that. But I'm talking about a dominant way, where it's dominating. My mistakes are dominant. I'm not talking about making a mistake and you keep repeating it. No, I'm talking about old patterns are gone. But that came because I fed my brain new information. You will have to do that too. You have to feed your brain new information. Because your brain is functioning off of cycles. Think about it, I'm telling you. If you think about a place where you used to be or where you used to get high, you can basically go to those spots with your eyes closed. Because you have a pattern. It's an old pattern. You can just... And then if you shift towns, we so good, we can shift towns and we'll smell out where they sell it. We start looking at the way people hold their hands. Like, nah, they got... My wife used to see, we should be somewhere. My wife used to... She used to be like, yo, we would see people right there. I said, yeah, he got crack in his head. She was like, how you know? I'd be like, the way he holding his hand. I know he just got it. He on his weapon. She's like, how you know that? I said, yeah, he just got the round. He just got the dope. She's like, how you know? I said, the way they hold their hand, the way they just... I know it. It's just, I know. I'm like, nah, this part, they sell this over here. They don't sell this over here. She's like, how you know? I'm like, nah, I'm telling you. That's because it's so embedded in my brain. You have to get that out, but you only can get that out with new information. Have you ever thought about surrendering? Anybody? Good. The solution begins with the paradox. Victory is achieved through surrender, not battle. Victory is achieved through surrender, not battle. We keep battling. I keep calling it a monster because I used to write to the addiction. My addiction, I used to write to it. I used to call it Dear Monster. I used to write it. Dear Monster, you got that off last time. But Dear Monster, I'm coming back. I used to write to it like, I'm going to defeat it. But victory is achieved through surrender, not battle. And what I mean is, we keep trying to battle the monster. That's not how you beat it. You beat it by surrendering. I'm done. I'm throwing in the towel. And you'll watch everybody else going through the same thing you're going through. I still watch them today. They still in the same cycle. When I go to Atlantic City and I ride and I be seeing my guys that I used to do, they still in the same cycle. Because they battling the addiction instead of surrendering and saying, you got that off. But you won't get me again. When you surrender, you basically saying, that part of my life is over. Don't battle it. Try to battle it. Say, I'm going to beat you this way and use you one day and I ain't going to use you for 14 days, then come back and use them too. No, don't battle the addiction. Surrender.
What stops you from surrendering?
Pride.
Pride.
Fear.
Ego.
Ego. Denial.
That's good. It says so many people, you know? So many people, we're on page 31, y'all see it? Alright. Page 31, so many people, that she said that, I encounter each day struggle with the idea of surrendering. It is almost as if we have developed barriers around our hearts that keep the world at an emotional distance. Recognizing those obstacles that stand in your way is the first step towards strong faith that you can surrender. One of the key obstacles to surrender is pride. We may not all admit this, but all of us have this in abundance. The good news is there is a known cure called humility. Wow. Without a doubt, it would take a humble person to surrender one bad lifestyle for a better lifestyle. Pride is keeping you to the bad lifestyle. You being humble, will open the door for you to walk into your new lifestyle. Pride says, man, don't listen to that guy. Man, he don't know what he's talking about. Stay over here with me. Now, pride would be like, yeah, you're right. I'm going to stay over. I don't know what you're talking about. I got one more run in me. I got one more run in me. But I heard my mentor say, you ain't got one more. You don't have one. You ain't had one since 1941. I got one more running. You ain't got one nothing. It's over. Pride, remember, pride and humility are the only thing. The bad lifestyle, pride will keep you there. The new lifestyle, it would take you to say, a humble person to say, that's over with. Let's see, 32. And again, we're going to have questions. And again, I told y'all to read what chapter? Last chapter. Everybody who read it, please do it on your own time. It's called Living Victorious. That is a chapter I will not do. But I need y'all to read it, get what y'all can. And I see a lot of y'all writing this stuff down. This book is for y'all, so y'all can always be going back and forth over it. And you have to feed yourself new information. Feed it. Just force feed all the information in, because you got to get out that other stuff. The questions and stuff that y'all saying are real. These are things that I experienced in my own life. The fear of success, seeding. I was wondering one time, I told my wife, I got clean like 12 months, and I was wondering, I wasn't thinking about using. So then I started sitting there saying, well, I'm not thinking about getting high. You see how dumb that is? But what happened was, that triggered me going to get high. Because I wasn't having the thoughts. I was feeding myself new information, but I'm trying to wonder why I'm not thinking about drugs. And then because I keep thinking about why I ain't thinking about getting high. I was feeding my brain new information, which was pushing out those thoughts. And then I started thinking about why I wasn't thinking about it, and I ended up doing it, which was the craziest thing. I'm like, man, how did I get here? It's because I was thinking about why I wasn't thinking about getting high.
I've done that before.
Huh?
I've done that before.
Yes, it's crazy.
Wasn't there, but then all of a sudden it's like,
I'm not thinking about
why am I thinking about that?
Yeah.
And then 20 minutes later,
I'll do it. That's how your thoughts control your actions. Your thoughts control your actions. I'm going to talk about that too later. Tomorrow so today we did these two, and tomorrow we got, some of the beautiful subjects. We talk about visualizing, endurance, humility, minor adjustments, and then Sunday we'll have the service. The thought for the day on page 32. The greatness of a man's power is in the measure of his surrender. Anybody know who William Booth is? I had to represent my man in there. I didn't tell you I've been in the Salvation Army so many times. We got married in the Salvation Army. Yeah. I've been in the Salvation Army so much, I said, listen, let's tie the knot in the Salvation Army. That ain't happened. But anyway. But we did get married in the Salvation Army. Yeah. We having this August our actual wedding. 10 years later, we having the wedding. Now we're able to have it. At that time, we got married at the Salvation Army. But when Booth said, the greatness of a man's power is in the measure of his surrender. What he means by that statement, when I studied what he was saying, he said, if you want to know how great a man or woman can become, tell me what that person is willing to surrender. I said, what? He said, you can tell a person's greatness by how much he's willing to say, I give up. And that's all of us. We keep holding on to the bad lifestyle. But if you really want to get to where you're really trying to go, you have to surrender to the fact that that lifestyle did what it did with you, and you did what you did with it, but you can't go back to it. It's all over. It's gone. The hardest thing, this is by far the hardest thing that I had to convince myself of. I can never do it again. That part of my brain, I kept having to convince myself year after year, you cannot do it again. You can't do it again. I can't have it. I thought that I could actually, I never was a drinker. Alcohol was never my issue. Mine was heroin and crack. I never really smoked marijuana. Alcohol really wasn't my issue. So I always thought, well, since they wasn't my issue, I can do what? So I'm like, well, since that wasn't my problem, let me shift it in. So one day we went out, first anniversary, Pastor King. Our first anniversary, I think we went out with my pack. I think it was our first year anniversary. We went out. And I told her I'm going to order some wine or something. I said, I'm ordering some wine. Toss him up. I'm clean. She said, babe, I don't know. You might wake that lion up. She said, don't, I don't think you should drink. I don't want to advise you. I was like, man, alcohol ain't my thing. I can drink. I'm going to order me something to drink. Waiter come by. Yeah, what you want? Give me a big glass. Our first anniversary. Give me a big shot of such. Wife like, babe, no, I think that might start you. Don't. I said, I never had. So I ordered. Boom. They go to get the stuff. While the waiter would go away, my pastor and his wife and all the elders from the church come in. What's up, Mike? Mike and Linnell, how y'all doing? I was like, what's up? They said, oh, man, it's our anniversary. You know, he said, oh, congratulations, you know. So they go sit there. The waitress come over, going to go get the drink, and said, oh, you see the people that came in? I said, yeah. She said, he paying for your bill. I said, he paying for who bill? Take the wine back. I don't want the wine. That's the, take it back. I don't want it. But you see, I never thought about drinking after that. It was a sign to me that said, you can't do it. He walked in and said, I'm paying for it. And I said, and I never tried it again.
Okay. Go back to what you said when you said the greatness of a man's power is the measure of his surrender. Right? So we think about Jesus when he died on the cross. How much did he surrender?
Everything.
He surrendered unto death. And we call him the greatest. What you need to realize right now, and he died a physical death. What I'm about to say to you, I'm not talking physically. But for you to get what you're supposed to have, you might have to die. You might have to die. You're going to have to kill that pride, kill that fear, kill that ego. You're going to have to die to some things to get what you want. And the only way to do that is you're going to have to be humble enough. He had to be humble to die because he's God. He was God the Father, God the Son. You know, he owned everything. And y'all going to hang me up on the cross? I made the tree you making the cross out of. But he had to be humble enough to do that. You got to understand your humility does not make you less of a person. It makes you bigger. So you may have to die to get what you're trying to get out of this thing.
Sacrifice.
Yes.
Listen, I'm going to give y'all 8. They're titled Enemies of Your Sobriety. These are enemies of your sobriety. These things will try to get you to give up your sobriety. I call them the enemies of sobriety. I got them from a guy I watch speak all the time. His name is Delbert Boone.
That's what I was trying to think of his name the other day when speaking about.
Get out of here.
That guy.
Look at that. Delbert. Yeah, I got these 8 from, I always give people the credit. Yeah, I learned these from Delbert Boone. He's very, very, very good guy. But anyway, he says 8 enemies of your sobriety. Y'all ready?
Yes, sir.
The first one is boredom. This is an enemy of your sobriety. The state of being weary and restless through lack of interest. When you get bored, boredom will try to make you give up your sobriety.
We will.
Yeah, so pay attention to these. The second one is self-pity. Dwelling on one's own sorrows and misfortunes. This is, woe is me. Why this happened to me? Why this do that to me? Why this? Self-pity is an enemy of your sobriety. It will try to get you to go back to using. The next one is, somebody said this over here, loneliness. Somebody over here was talking about lonely. Yeah. When he said it, I was thinking, man, that's on my paper. Loneliness is the enemy of your sobriety, being without company. When you find yourself in a place of loneliness, contact someone. I had people who call our business number, and they call me like, yo, what's up, man? It was like, now I was just calling, I'm about to go get this job and everything. I said, man, what you up to? He said, I was just lonely, man. I was just saying what's up with you. But that was good, because during that time, him talking to me, we wasn't going to talk about drugs.
Right.
So even though he said I was lonely, he just was seeing what I was doing. That's lonely. That's the enemy. So that was the last one I gave you? Yeah. All right, 4, extreme happiness. A very high degree of well-being and contentment. It's your neighbor's birthday. I think we need to do something. That's such and such birthday. I don't even talk to you, but since it's your birthday, let's go out. Like extreme happiness is an enemy. I was like, wow, that's an enemy. He said, yeah, because you're trying to celebrate everything. Every little thing you want. Extreme happiness, always. Nobody's like that all day long. You got to watch out for that, because that celebration stuff is, it's nothing wrong with celebration. Y'all get what I'm saying, right? I'm talking about extreme. The extreme. The next one is disappointment. The state or emotion of being disappointed. When people disappoint you, you have to understand, we live in the world and this is life. People will disappoint you. But when you get disappointed, you can't allow the disappointment to push you back into your addiction. Because we already know, we started this whole class off, we going anywhere.
But backwards.
All right.
Say that with enthusiasm.
Anywhere.
But backwards.
The next one is isolation. Number 6, isolation. The condition of being isolated. Always isolating yourself. Yes, I know a lot of individuals say I have a problem with trusting individuals. I get it. They have a problem with dealing with people. I get it. I understand. But I'm talking about a new lifestyle. That was your problem in your old lifestyle. Your new lifestyle, you're going to have to start feeling okay to say, man, I need a hug, brother. It's okay. I tell people all the time, man, we hug around here, man. What's up? It don't make you less than who you are. The old lifestyle, we wouldn't do it. Well, I'm not doing that. Nah, man, that's okay. You got to remember, isolation is an enemy of your sobriety. Number 7, tired, in need of sleep, rest, or weary. That's an enemy. When you find yourself tired all the time, you need to get yourself some rest. Because when you start being tired, you don't start thinking right. When you're tired, you wore out, you start thinking stupid. But you're just tired. Just go to sleep. Sometimes I tell my wife all the time, what you doing? She said, I ain't doing nothing. I'm staying home. I ain't going nowhere. And I can rest, watch this, be home, not sleep, but resting. Because I'm not doing anything. I'm home. I love being home now. Before I used to run the streets, now I love being home. That's crazy, because when you get to a certain place in your life, no matter if you're with someone or single, and you get a certain place in your life and you're comfortable, right? And you should be comfortable going out. On Valentine's Day, you think, we're going to go spend all this cash, we're going to go tossing up. Tell them what we did for Valentine's Day.
I went to bed, you went to the sofa.
We went to sleep.
Valentine's Day.
So I love you. Happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
They like, yo, what y'all do? I know y'all. I said, man, I was on the couch. She was in the
You
bed.
kept asking, I didn't want, no, we're going to rest.
But we was together.
We're going to rest.
You have to rest. When you tired, you start making dumb decisions. The last one is intolerant. Woo, this happens in the program. Unable or unwilling to endure. Soon as we get, watch this, We get intolerant when we in recovery, but when we're actually using, we put up with everything. We have kids, our kids' age, calling us names, and we sitting there accepting it because we want what they got. We'll beat them up, really, but since you got, we allow them to call us all these names. And you sitting there like, nah, not this. But but we put up with it. The only time it becomes a problem is when we in places like this. When we get into treatment. Now we like, I can't put up with this. They want us to work early in the morning. They want us to do this. If that drug dealer told you I need you to go to 7-Eleven for this drug, you ain't say, I don't feel like it. He'd be like, I'll get somebody else. Nah, I got it, don't do it. But when we get in recovery, we intolerant. We can't put up with nothing. Y'all know I ain't lying. But we got to change that. We have to, if they make up a new rule, I don't care. Put up with it, just like you did out there. You're going to have to work, man, I'm telling you, with everything I got in my body. You're going to have to be more enthusiastic and work 10 times as hard as you used to for that thing on this side. You're going to have to work 10 times as hard on this side. You're going to have to put that thing in. I tell my friends all the time, man, while you sleeping, I'm up studying, man. I'm up praying. While you sleeping, I'm up 5 o'clock in the morning. I don't even use an alarm clock. My purpose gets me up.
Amen.
I don't need a clock. I got to get up because I'm not going back. Whatever I need to do over here, I'm going to do. You have to do the same thing. You have to work twice as hard because whatever's coming to you, the reason why it's coming to you is because it does not want you to discover the greatness you actually have in you. I have no idea what you have in you, but the only reason you keep going through hell is because something's in there. Something is trying you to stop you. I can't let you see who you really are. So I got to bombard you. I got to get you in jail. I got to get you on drugs. Why? Something's in there. Why you keep doing it to me? There's something in you.
Wow.
Why? Why you? Why you keep going through all this hell? Why is it the enemy, whoever you want to call it, keep holding you down? You should be like, you know what? That man right. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to find something. I don't care who you are. You don't get nothing from me. You'll never be able to go say, that man ain't tell me nothing. He ain't tell me nothing. God's going to put him around, put the screen up, say, hey, Jesus, cue up YouTube. Me sure. You be in heaven with YouTube. Yeah, he recorded it. He said it right here. You was there that day, right? You were on the roster. You got to remember, you had something. Everybody says it's an inside job. It's an inside job. So what's the first one? Come on. Second. Self-hatred. Third. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. Give yourself a round of applause, man. For y'all, man. This is for you. We study and we do our stuff, what we do, and we come to, and we go all around the world, man. I never would imagine us going to different places to encourage individuals who I always say are like me. I just need you to apply it. Once you get it, you have it, I just need you to apply it. And then, you know, some of the beauties that we hear when we hear a testimony or talk to somebody and say, yo, you remember such and such? And I don't remember everybody time, like, take a picture. Like, they send you the picture like, oh, yeah. Right? I might don't remember your name because I've talked to so many people. But then you tell me how you doing. That encourages us. I remember my wife was at a mall getting a salad or something. And there was a kid in there. And she was ordering a salad. And he was like, oh, I remember you. You and your husband changed me such. Y'all changed my life. I never went, you know. You know how good that feels to say, you know, he was telling somebody else. The kid was telling that he worked with. Like if it wasn't for them coming to our school, we went to a school. Said if they didn't come to my school, and tell us what they told us, I would have never did what I was doing, you know what I mean? And that's the same with y'all. Once y'all hear it, walk it out. Page 33. Then we won't have questions after this. Let me see. Something I want to get y'all to get. Then we have questions in 15 minutes. It says, page 33, we could divide our troubles or difficulties into 3 groups. 1, physical problem, difficulties caused by others, our own mistakes, or by intentional or unintentional actions of others. I don't want you to be shocked. Some people will intentionally do stuff to you. Spiritual attacks from the outside. Troubles are common to all. Whether we face trials or spiritual attacks or battle with our own human weaknesses or physical problems, we all have trouble. Everybody say we all have trouble. We all have trouble. Not to speak of the mistakes that we make or suffering from the effects of the mistakes of others, and so on. No matter what problem you face, always remember that there is a key to victory. In the Bible, Job chapter 5, verse 7, and you can write that down too, it says, man, I love this scripture, man is born to trouble. As sparks fly upward. In the Bible, it says that man, Job 5, verse 7, man is born to trouble. So when people keep complaining about how much trouble they're going through, I say, man, you were born to trouble. Everybody came in this world into trouble. So a lot of times people will tell you, oh, I'm going through this. Why don't you go back and get high? You know, talking to my friend. What was your reason? Oh, man, my bills piled up. This happened, that. I said, you know, the person across the street had more bills than you, but they didn't got high. It's bigger than that. Man is born into trouble. Don't say, this is why I did something. Tell me what you're going to do not to do it. If we know you can do it, that's what you always did. We need to find out coping skills. How can I do something different? What can I do? Because trouble, all of us have trouble. There's absolutely nobody in the world who doesn't experience some type of trouble. What they do when they experience the trouble is the difference. Some people, I meant to tell my wife this the other day. One day I was walking in Wawa and a guy, I forgot his name, but he came and he said, I see you on social media and all that all the time. He said, man, you always look like the devil ain't bothering you. The devil don't mess with you. And I said, the devil mess with everybody. I just don't express it like you. He said, you look like you. I said, no, I know what authority I have. He can't defeat me. He has no authority over me. I walk in who God made me. So no, I don't express it like you. And the reason why I said I don't express it like him is because he always talk about all his problems. I got this problem, I got this problem, I got this problem, I got this problem. Man, you woke up this morning. Did you say thank you? Problem. Man, that thing gets depressing when you constantly hear somebody, I'm sick, I'm dying, I'm a cat. Golly. We all have problems. Come on, you alive, you got a day clean. Next, let's go to topic 34. What successful outcomes have you had? You should, this ain't in your book, but what successful outcomes have you had is in your book. You should celebrate even the smallest of victories. That's why we talk about minor adjustments. You should celebrate the smallest of victories. Small victories lead to major accomplishment. You should celebrate small victories. If you talk to your loved one, somebody in your family, you ain't talked to them in a while, that's a small victory. I heard somebody on the radio or on a motivational speakers that I listened to. He said he had four good days this week. He said that's a victory. He didn't even talk about he had 3 bad. He said I had 4 good days out of 7. He had 3 bad ones, but being as though he had 4 good ones, he said, oh, that's a win. But he could have focused on the 3 bad. He said, I did have 3 bad, but you see how I started with the 4 wins. You have to celebrate the small victories. Always celebrate small victories. Every day, every second you have and you're not using it. You sit in here and you're participating. That's a small victory. I thank you. Because I don't like to go to places, or I will go to places But I always want to, what I have in us, what we have in us, pour out to you because it's for you, and then we reload. We leave here, we leave from here, and you can ask Captain and them. We here, the next thing you know, then we have to go to another tent. And that pours out what God put in us, we pour out to you. So use everything that you can, or get everything that you possibly can while we're here. And you can take it and use it for yourself, and then it will propel you into opening up ideas and stuff. Everybody had dreams and ideas and stuff when we were kids or stuff before we start using it. They're still there. I started this program in the Salvation Army. I was in rehab, and I started writing out how I wanted it. I want to teach it one day a week. I wanted it to be an hour. I was in rehab writing that. While everybody was running around trying to find out who had drugs in the program, I was like, nah, it wasn't. I got a perk. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I'm riding around in program. It was just called Mighty Men and Women of God. I didn't have the minor adjustment name. I had to get the name right. But I'm telling you to tell you this: don't wait to get on nothing. Start now. Start writing your stuff down. Like you got ideas and dreams, write it down. They're real. They're real. Write them down. You can walk it out. Write it down. And we the type of person that will push you, like, go ahead. Because we have the baton mentality. We have that type of, well, you know, when the relay, I get the baton, I run, pass it, he run. That's what we do. We like to do that. And then, because if we win, guess who's celebrating? So you can do it. Next, why did you keep losing to your lifestyle? Y'all see that? On page 34? It says, why do you keep losing to this lifestyle? Listen to me, y'all. This lifestyle is only a loss to those who don't learn from it. It's only a loss. If you keep going back to it, it's a loss. If you learn from it, it's not a loss. Because you see, the same thing that I used to be in bondage to or addicted to, I actually have a full-time job in that same field. It wasn't a loss. Because I learned from it. When you learn from it, it's not a loss. That lifestyle, your old lifestyle, and you can always tell a person who learned from their past lifestyle, they don't repeat it. As long as you keep repeating something you ain't getting, something didn't click. Because you already know it's pain, it's suffering, it's bad, it's going to take from you. It's never, you're getting high and you start, your family coming around. Well, you getting high again, we coming over sometimes. Get back out there. It don't go that way. It doesn't, it's always a loop. You can't, they get away from you. It's not, we coming over. Watching the game. You know how I feel one time I had, listen, man, I'm telling you. One day I celebrated my birthday, right? My birthday party. God, honest truth. I wish I could have a picture. I'm going to give it to y'all if I can find it. My birthday party, I had a bunch of kids. How many kids I had? They said, who party is it? She said, it's my husband. I had a party.
I don't know where the adults went.
It was no adults. I had like 4 years old, 5 years old with my hat on. Mickey Mouse. They said, whose birthday is this? And he's 47 years. I said, this is my life. This is what I want to do. I never had that stuff. You know what I mean? Like, man, I want all, yeah. In the picture, you see me in the middle. And they and the adults like, who party was it? They said it was his. I had all my nieces, nephews, cousins. Some people were dropping their kids off, leaving. But I bet you know that when you change your life and stuff, right? Stuff that you just enjoy life, man. You just enjoy life. And that old life is so far from you. All of y'all can do the same thing. Do a bunch of nothing. Who has a birthday party, 46-year-old with little kids running around and we playing videos and what? Happy. Next is, we got 5 minutes. 35. 35. No, skip 35, 36. It says the first step on the way to victory, 36. Y'all see it? Go up for the day. 30. The first step on the way to victory is to recognize the enemy. To recognize the enemy. Listen to me, y'all. This is, you see it, y'all can figure out what it is. It says it is the most destructive force this world knows. It causes war, poverty, fear, and worry. It also destroys the lives of millions of people. It's deadlier than the devil. It's the number one enemy of life. Is a word. What is it? Self-ignorance.
Ignorance.
Miles Monroe said, ignorance is deadlier than the devil. And the Bible says people are destroyed for lack of
Knowledge.
Hosea 4:6. Hosea 4:6. He said, Miles Monroe said, ignorance is deadlier than the devil. And he's saying is, we destroyed for lack of knowledge. We already know what the drugs will do to us. But yet and still, we keep doing that's ignorance. And ignorance